and welcome to This is USG, a video podcast by the universities at Shady Grove. 9 universities, 1 campus, great results. I'm Ann Khademian, Executive Director for the universities at Shady Grove. A key responsibility in the mission of USG is to be a space for innovation, a place to connect between our academic partners and the vibrant economic opportunities in Montgomery County. The life sciences are a vital part of the Montgomery County economy, with biotech and bioscience companies working on vaccines, gene therapies, and more. Today, we are featuring UMBC's cutting-edge Translational Life Science Technology program, offered exclusively at USG. The TLST program combines the theory of a traditional life science degree with real-world applications in academic and industry research. Students come out of this degree program with the tools necessary to succeed in the modern era of the life sciences. We have 4 very special guests tonight who are going to bring this program to life. Dr. Annica Wayman, who is an Associate Dean and Professor at UMBC. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jackelyn Flores, who's a student in Translational Life Science Technology program. Jackie, welcome.
Thank you.
Patrick Pohlhaus is Director of Drug Product Development at GlaxoSmithKline. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you.
And Margaret Latimer is a Vice President and Provost of Montgomery College in the Germantown campus. Margaret, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I'm excited to learn more. Annica, maybe you can start off for us. I would love to hear about the origins of this program and what role you played in starting this program. What was its vision and how did it start?
Well, first, thanks for having us to talk about the program. The vision for the TLST program, the Bachelor of Science, it came from our partnership with Montgomery College, as well as UMBC, looking to see how we could address the workforce gaps within the biotech community. Montgomery College already had a biotechnology associate's degree, and they were looking to see if there was a bachelor's degree that they could pair with because they already recognized that need, and to see how there could be some continuing education for that. So we worked together with them to develop the TLST program. And it's unique in a sense that we have a lot of hands-on applied teaching of biotechnology to continue what Montgomery College is already doing with their associate's level in doing that. A lot of the professors are from the biotech community, or they're coming in as guest lecturers to really help them to see how what they're learning is applied in the industry. And secondly, I think what makes it unique is that it's very multidisciplinary. So students are not just getting cell biology and biochemistry, what they might get in a traditional biological sciences program. They're also getting bioinformatics and software for the life sciences. They're getting biochemical engineering and biomanufacturing, even epidemiology. So they're able to be exposed to the various technical areas that they would see if they were trying to take a product at a company from the discovery phase to commercialization.
Yeah, terrific. Thank you so much. That's a great overview. But Margaret, maybe you could pick up on that. So you all at Montgomery College, you had a program to begin with. What was the vision at Montgomery College? How did you all see this opportunity and this partnership?
Thank you. And I think Annica did a wonderful job with the overview and sort of the origins of the partnership. And she said, we have the associate's degree as a community college, and it's an outstanding program, hands-on focus, along with the foundations in the science that prepares students for entry-level positions in biotech companies. But there was a gap. There are positions that require a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more hands-on experience. And so there was a vision to offer this within the county. The only opportunities, and they are great opportunities for 4-year degrees in Montgomery County, are at the universities at Shady Grove. And so it seemed like a natural fit to have students go from the Germantown campus, which is where the biotech program is located, literally down the road, to be able to complete a degree, to go on with their degree. And some of these students do this after gaining some work experience. The expression lifelong learning used to mean something one did in retirement. And in these dynamic tech fields in particular, the need for lifelong learning, adding credentials, adding knowledge, adding skills is really part of what students learn. So there is a very natural fit with this partnership.
That's terrific. Thank you so much. Jackie, maybe you can tell us about how you found this program and what you're hoping to accomplish coming out of this program as well.
Yeah, of course. So I first heard of the TLSC program when it was still in the works from Collins Jones, one of the professors in the biotech program at MC. I think that was in about 2016, 2017. I didn't graduate until the spring of 2019, but by that time, the first cohort of the TLSC program was set to start that fall. So once I heard that, I got in touch with the staff at USG. I attended the open house where I met Dr. Wayman for the first time. And I started that same fall of 2019 with the program. It was a big deal for me because I waited a little while for the program. I kind of, in hand with working full time and being a student in the MC Biotech program, I kind of timed out the classes so that by the time I completed the program, I would be able to do that smooth transition over to UMBC at USG. And then on top of that, it was a big deal for me because I'm the first person in my family to continue my education at a four-year university. So I'm really glad to be able to represent women in color in STEM. Women of color in STEM, yeah.
No, that's fantastic. We'll have more questions for you coming up here. But Patrick, let's bring you into the conversation. What are some of the priorities that your company, the GlaxoSmithKline, has in terms of talent? And how does this partnership work to address those talent needs?
Yeah, I think at GSK, we're always looking for the best and brightest talent that are coming out of the local universities. I think this program in particular is probably well suited to recruit the individuals that we're looking for in the life sciences. I work just down the road a little bit in the Slough Center for Vaccines. It's a couple doors down from the universities at Shady Grove. And we're always looking for very diverse skill sets. So what I like about the TLST program is that the individuals that are coming out of this are going to be a bit more multidisciplinary than you would see in your traditional tracks. So as someone mentioned earlier, we'd expect to see individuals from cell biology, biochemical, chemical engineering, instrumentations and methods. As someone mentioned, bioinformatics. So more skills in data science, things that we're now starting to consider more important to the life sciences industry. We would expect to see that. We would see individuals who can work well in diverse teams. I think other things that the program offers and that I look for as a recruiter is the ability to take the book learning or the theory and to translate that directly into medicines and vaccines through hands-on experience. And I think that this program offers that. And what you're going to have after coming out of this program is it's going to appears, you went to college and you also had internship or co-op experience. And that's really important for us in the life sciences and biotech industry, because those individuals can come in right away, hit the ground running and start contributing. And the training is very specific to biotechnology, and that's very core to what we do at the Slough Center for Vaccines Research.
It's terrific, very exciting. And it's great to have you as a neighbor to USG as well. That's fantastic. So Annica, we are, better than all of us, we're in the middle of this very trying time with this pandemic, and we're right in the heart of where a lot of this innovation is taking place with respect to vaccines, the work at GSK and elsewhere. I've read recently about some of the students who are coming out of this program and some of the work that they're doing right in the midst of, pandemic related work. Could you talk a little bit about some of the career paths and some of the opportunities you see for students coming out of this degree program, and maybe how that's different from a more traditional bioscience program as well?
Sure. Let me first comment in saying, just to echo what Patrick was saying in terms of the partnership with GSK and them being in our backyard has been tremendously helpful. So we've had people from GSK come serve as guest lecturers for us. They also hosted a career immersion day And we hope it is required our students do an internship. So talking to them about the possibility of that as well. But it really has helped to tie in that applied learning. So thank you to GSK for your support. In terms of how students are able to have immediate impact right now in the midst of COVID, we've had a number of students who actually, so GeneDx is another company that we've worked with in terms of guest lectures and just partnering with in the past. So they reached out because, of course, the number of tests that they were doing, they went from doing like, I don't know, a couple tens of tests a week to a couple hundreds of tests per week. And so, that surge in need, they reached out, and we had a number of TLST students who went to go work for GeneDx as accessioners to help with that effort. And we have other students that are, doing various types of jobs in that similar capacity. And then there's still the other biotech work that's taking place as well. And so we do now have students that are getting out because there is a required internship component, students that are now starting to gain internship experience. And so Jackie's one of the great examples. She does represent well as she aims to do for women of color, and has worked at Lonza. She can tell you a lot more about that experience. And we've also had students work at Kite Pharma, AstraZeneca, another big player in the COVID vaccine area. And we had students also at American Gene Technologies as well. Two of our three first graduates are now working full-time at American Gene Technologies. So they are trying to come up with the first cure for HIV. So really exciting opportunity for our students to contribute to another great need in healthcare.
Yeah, this transdisciplinary combined with hands-on learning and application, what a great combination, especially now with the urgent need for innovation. It's fantastic. That's great. Well, Jack, I'm going to build on that. Could you tell us a little bit about your educational experience so far? What did you work on in your internship, and what's a typical day like for you in this program?
Yeah, of course. So the environment, first of all, at TLSD is great. Since we're still a growing group, we're a really close-knit bunch. We study together, we help each other with working on lab techniques, and before COVID, we would spend time together outside of school as well. Because the class sizes are still small, it's easy to work with our professors and build connections. I think one of the most notable classes for me was the cell processing course. I don't remember what course number it was, but I feel like that also aided a lot in preparing us for hands-on work, applying all of the knowledge that we learned in other courses to, preparing for working in a lab. For my internship, I used the time that I worked at Lonza as my internship. So I worked at Lonza for 3 years in cell therapy clinical manufacturing. And I used one of the projects for one of our clients that we worked on. It was a treatment for bone marrow transplants for patients with, it would help with like I'm trying to figure out how to describe it, with the recovery process after a bone marrow transplant. And it was really, really amazing, life-changing work. And I was really, really glad to be a part of that. You study all of this stuff in school, and you really just hope to be able to make a positive change in somebody's life. And, through the things I'm learning through this course and the experience I was able to have at Lonza, I feel like I was really able to do that.
Fantastic. That's very exciting. Thank you for sharing that. Margaret, could you tell us a little bit about how the partnership works with USG from the Montgomery College side? This is so exciting to see the two schools working together. But I imagine it can be challenging as well. So what's the focus in making this partnership work from the Montgomery College perspective? What are some of the things that you really emphasize at Montgomery College to make this transition smooth for students and to make this possible?
Sure, it's a great question. It's an important question. We work very hard to develop articulation agreements with all of the institutions at USG. As you said in your opening, there are 9. so that students can transfer all of the courses that they take at Montgomery College. They all will count when they transfer. And so there's a lot of work that goes into the individual articulation agreements. And then there's a huge advising component. And Annica is well familiar with this as she has met with a lot of our students to try to make sure that they are advised in terms of electives they choose that will transfer, that will benefit their particular degree program. One of the things that we've worked on with the TLST program, and this conversation may have occurred before Annica was part of it, was just the name. People don't know what translational life science is. And so there's part of it is the PR around this particular program. And Jackie, I love what you just said about the important work you're doing, the impact you're having on people's lives. Students come and they want to be a pharmacist and they know what a pharmacist does. They want to be a nurse and they know what a nurse does. When you say TLST, that's an unknown. So part of this particular partnership has been to inform students, to inform faculty even about what the opportunities are in helping students to get those freshman and sophomore courses nailed, that hands-on experience under their belt, and then transfer seamlessly to USG, UMBC at USG.
What great points to emphasize in this. And these things don't happen magically, right? They take a lot of hard work and management and communication. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Margaret. Patrick, I'm wondering how the work at GSK has changed during the pandemic. And I'm interested, you highlighted in your earlier comments the importance of this multidisciplinary approach with students coming out of the TLST program with lots of different kinds of cross-training in that sense. Does that relate to how the industry is changing during the pandemic or maybe not? But I'm just wondering if you can reflect on some of the changes that you're seeing because of the pandemic and how that might relate to talent.
Yeah, I think there's two parts of it. It's how has the pandemic changed us in the life sciences industry, and particularly at GSK. And we've always been dedicated to applying our innovation and our expertise to developing vaccines for unmet medical needs in the world. I think the pandemic uniquely has done something special to the industry. It's created opportunities where they maybe didn't exist before. So there's new and exciting partnerships that we personally have at GSK. For example, the one that we launched last year in 2020 with Sanofi on COVID vaccine. We're really excited to see what the future holds for us in that. Now, as far as young people starting out their careers and getting into life sciences, I think that everyone living through the pandemic, and we're still living through it going into 2021, I think that really there's a lot more attention on life sciences and vaccines companies particularly, and the work that we do. I think that as we continue to go through the pandemic, it's likely going to spur a greater increase in the life science education programs, particularly something like the Translation Life Science Technology program that's offered, between Montgomery College, UMBC, and the University of Shady Grove, and that people who are starting that part of their life are going to be more interested in getting that education and hands-on training, and then ultimately translating that into a career at hopefully one of the local employers. And we're always looking for the best and brightest talent that can help us generate the next generation of novel vaccines.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks so much. Annica, where do you see this program going now? You've got a great start. There's so much buzz. In fact, you were recognized by BioBuzz as one of the most innovative programs as well. Congratulations on that. I'm wondering, where do you see the program going in the next couple of years? What's the bigger long-term vision? Do you envision the number of students growing, the number of partnerships? How do you see this program growing?
Well, I'm never out of ideas, that's for sure. So there's plenty still to do. And we're only really in our second full year of the program. So we're still in our infancy as far as I'm concerned, but the growth has been really rapid. In terms of where should I start in terms of where I see the program, I think the need is really dire in the biotech industry. So, one thing I see is definitely growth in number of students. we really, and I think COVID has underscored that the need has become greater because these companies, as Patrick said, there's been more opportunities that have opened up for people they need these vaccines and for other diseases. One way that we see is not just through our degree programs to strengthen those numbers in terms of increasing them, but also doing training programs as well. So just today, which is why I'm a little bit probably disorganized, is we started a biotech boot camp training, and Montgomery College is also doing it as well. We're doing a tiered type of training, but the idea in both places is to do short-term biotech trainings on lab skills that would quickly ramp people up for jobs in the biotech industry. And when you mention COVID, this in particular is targeted for those who've been displaced and are unemployed because of the economic downturn from COVID. And so we started our boot camp today. Montgomery College started theirs last week. And so that's another way we hope to supply the biotech industry quickly and immediately with talent that can help them fill vacancies. Another piece is that we also at UMBC, at universities at Shady Grove, have a professional master's in biotechnology. Margaret mentioned the continuous lifelong learner. And so we also hope to offer, and we are offering now, opportunity for students to continue their education in biotechnology, looking at more management and leadership and business types of jobs. So once they finish their TLST degree, they can go work for GSK, let's say, and after getting a couple of years of work experience underneath their belt, come back and learn about the business of biotechnology, learn about management, leadership, and communications as it relates to biotech, and legal and ethical issues. That's the kind of material that we teach in our professional master's degree that can be conveniently pursued at the universities at Shady Grove. So I see that, and definitely a lot of opportunities to grow our partnership with Montgomery College and the biotech companies in terms of internships, research opportunities, and other training that would address what gaps they might need. That's what's exciting about this field, is that it is continuing to evolve. I mean, we're seeing a huge growth now in actually cell and gene therapy products being out there and utilized. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So, so there's a lot of opportunity, not just in programs, but also in technical areas that I see us being able to pursue within the TLST degree at Shady Grove.
That's great. Very exciting vision. And you can feel the momentum already for this degree program as well. So, well, Margaret, maybe you can build on that. I think this program requires a lot of learning space, right? It requires a lot of labs and learning space and things. And as you think about growth at Montgomery College as well, what does that look like for you as you see this program grow? What are some of the priorities and key areas that you'll need to focus on at Montgomery College as this program grows?
I think to expand on Annica and answer your question, certainly we are already seeing an uptick in enrollment, and I think it has to do with what's going on and the buzz around biotechnology, and also it's getting the word out. One of the things actually that Annica and I have talked about with others at UMBC is the idea of having students admitted, especially those who are coming to us from high school, admitted to UMBC, so that they come to Montgomery College as a UMBC, but as Jackie said, you're part of that cohort, you're part of that group. So I think there are opportunities there. We are expanding what we offer around cell and gene therapy, again, a growing area in this region. And so I think one of the things that has made us successful and certainly will make this program successful are the links with industry. There's constant communication with the biotech companies. Jackie, you referred to Collins Jones, Dr. Jones. Our faculty reach out to students after they have been in the workplace for about 6 months and ask them for feedback. What did you learn that was particularly useful? What do you wish you had learned? And so we're constantly trying to evolve and be responsive from the feedback we get from our students, but also talking to industry representatives as technology changes. And this continuum from a master's degree or a bachelor's or even a PhD, we have a bio track program, which is real postdoc professional development. So this idea of a student going from Montgomery College to USG back to Montgomery College, and that's things like CRISPR and flow cytometry, again, skills that have been added since these people were originally earning their degrees. So the work is a continuum as well, and very exciting opportunities today.
Great. That's great. Jackie, I'm wondering if we can get you to share a little bit more of some of your experience and maybe some of your vision going forward as well. So, I think you said you've been working as well as you're in the degree program. How do you balance being a student as well as working? And where do you see your career path going from here? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, so right now my focus and my interests are in cell and gene therapy and kind of oncology. So the time I spent at Lonza, I was working on cell therapy clinical manufacturing for clinical trials that were in phase 1, 2, and 3. So, I got thousands and thousands of hours of lab work done. I got a lot of hands-on work done. And I think that really helped me grow not only in my professional career, but for school as well. It helped a lot. I try to balance work and school. A lot of the times it's hard to do that when you have a full-time job, but I really just try and organize my school life around work life, because as important as education is, I think it's really important to keep up with how fast and changing the industry is. So of course, fortunately, while I was still in the Montgomery College biotech program, I was offered the position at Lonza. So I stayed there for 3 years. I left the company in July of this past 2020. Initially, I was asked to relocate with the company to Houston. That's where they were moving the cell therapy department, but I decided to stay in Maryland because of the TLSE program. So since then, I've just been a full-time student in preparation to return to work. And just this past week, I was offered a position to become the senior production associate for AstraZeneca's developing cell therapy department in their biopharmaceutical development unit.
Wow.
So it's really exciting.
Yeah, can you tell us what that would entail? What would you be doing in that role?
So in that role, I'll be helping AstraZeneca develop all of their labs and their batch records, all the processes that they have that they're going to be working on in clinical trials. So I'm bringing my knowledge of working in cell therapy manufacturing for the last 3 years over to AstraZeneca and helping them start really from the bottom. So primarily for, I think the next year I'll be working from home. It's a lot of office work, but I'm also going to be stopping in every now and then when I need to help set up the labs, to make sure everything's ergonomic. If I'm really bringing in the perspective of somebody who's working in the lab. A lot of the times the people on these teams aren't going to be the people working in the lab, so they might not know what's absolutely necessary in a lab or how things need to be set up. So that's where I come in, and I'm bringing in that knowledge and helping them build it up. It's going to be really exciting.
Fantastic. So you bring both the technical and scientific expertise as well as some management know-how as well, which is a rare combination, actually. So that's fantastic. Yeah. Congratulations. That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah. Patrick, tell us what it's like to have students in the corporate world. And I think it's great to have experiential learning and to have the students there, but I'm wondering, it probably really changes the environment. It probably really changes the flow of work to some degree. What's it like to have the students there? How does it change the culture of GSK or other companies as well, to have students right there learning along beside you?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I've been fortunate to host a number of students over the past 6 years that I've been at GSK. A number of engineering co-op students. Usually host at least one student per year, and it's a really great experience because the new students really bring this sense of energy in this eagerness to learn, and you can give them projects. You can see them start to be a little bit unsure, but then they start through the course of 3 to 6 to 9 months, even 12 months, really start to be a great contributor to the team, where you can, towards the end of co-ops and extended internships, they actually become one of the main pieces which essentially drives the lab and drives everything that happens. And it's a little bit bittersweet sometimes, because when internships and co-ops ultimately come to an end, you really lose a good piece. And that's why I think these programs are really, really important. And oftentimes we really look for those people that have come in and really brought that energy and learned directly from the industry. And we look and we're really fortunate if we can get those types of individuals back, because they really do change our culture and the way we work in a day-to-day manner.
That's great. Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine how amazing it would be to work with Jackie on a regular basis, just such energy and such know-how. So, well, this is a wonderful conversation. I'm going to ask each of you if you just want to share one last thought. And, if you wanted to share, just if you're in an elevator with someone, or you're passing someone, and they ask you, tell me a little bit about the TLST program. What would be the one thought you'd want to leave about the program with our audience? Annica, you want to start?
I would lead them with talk to Jackelyn Flores, because she is a wonderful example of what MC and UMBC can produce. I'm so proud of Jackie, and she's a pleasure to teach in class. And I'm very excited for where she's going to go. So I would point them right to her.
Thank you.
And I would just say that the TLS, just to underscore what Margaret said, I think that if you love science and you want to have an impact in the medical industry, that biotech is a really great career to pursue that I think is under-recognized. And so I would leave that if you want to make the products that are going to go into the doctor's hands and the nurse's hands, and really multiply the impact you can have in saving lives, then to consider a career in biotechnology and the Translational Life Science Technology program.
That's great. Margaret, what about you?
I would smile and nod and say what she said. Truly, you've said a lot, and I think the other thing I think to keep in mind are the opportunities. This idea of scaffolding skills and knowledge, and really being able to build a career. And Jackie, you've already illustrated this, going in different directions. And I think as people want to do interesting things and be part of something that is bigger than themselves, and truly that's what these companies and this work affords, it leads to a very, very rewarding life.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, what about you? What would be the one thought you'd leave with somebody about this program?
Well, I would say we've never been in a time when getting more people in the life sciences has been more important, if we just look around for a while. And I think that if I look at this program and the quality that it's going to produce, the multidimensionality of the individuals that it's going to produce to be able to contribute to all the different disciplines in life sciences, this is a really exciting program to be involved in if you're at that point of starting your career.
Fantastic. Jackie, I'm going to give you the last word. So what thoughts would you like to leave maybe prospective students with about this program?
Yeah, I think, being a part of a program like this really leaves your future open to a world of limitless opportunities and possibilities, as long as you're willing to, put in that effort to find opportunities and use your resources that are available to you. I think you can do whatever you put your mind to. We're really fortunate that we're in an area where the industry is growing and only will continue to grow. So I think it's really good to take advantage of what we have available to us. And I think that being a part of the UMBC program at USG is a really good place to do that.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank all of you for your dedication to make this program such a success, for the spirit of collaboration that you bring to what you're doing across Montgomery College, UMBC, USG, GlaxoSmithKline, and to give such an opportunity and such a great launch of a career to someone as wonderful as Jackie. So thank you all for your time tonight, and best wishes, and thank you for doing the work you do. Keep it up. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.